Hey everyone, welcome to another Space Marine painting tutorial. My name is Jay, and as always, I'll be showing you how to paint this Salamander Space Marine. I primed the model gray and then base coated the entire model using an airbrush with Caliban green. This green is actually the base coat color for Dark Angels, which as you can see produces a really nice green color over the entire model with a very single coat. After the base coat was dry, I gave the entire armor a bile tan green shade. This shade will get in all the recesses and produce, of course, some very nice shade on the model. When using shades like this one, make sure to do a very thin coat at a time, and if you want to make the recesses even darker, feel free to just do another thin shading on top of your previous one. However, always make sure that one shading is dry before progressing to the next one. When the shade was dry, I gave the entire model a highlight with Warpstone Glow. I focused on all of the areas that are not in the recesses. So basically, you should leave the recesses the original color with the shading, and then paint basically the rest of the model using the Warpstone Glow. This particular step took a very long time, and that is why I'm showing you in length this entire step. Basically, you will be going over the entire model with the Warpstone Glow, and almost producing kind of another base coat over the entire model. However, this color will be much closer to the color that we're going for in the end, and it will look really nice going over the shaded areas. The key with this step is to take your time and to make sure that you do very nice, even coats over the entire model. If you find after one coat it doesn't look very even, feel free to use another very thin down coat and just progress up until you get a very nice even coverage over the entire model. When the first highlight was finally done, I did a second highlight over the entire model with Moot Green. For the second highlight, rather than focusing on the entire areas, I focused more on the edges, so it was basically an edge highlight. However, I also focused on the areas just bordering the recesses that have the wash in them as well. This was once again a lengthy step. However, it's very important to produce a little bit of a lighting effect and some edge highlighting is to add a lot of definition to the final product of the model. As with my other Space Marine tutorials, the goal of this tutorial is to build up layer by layer over the model and to tie them all together using a glazed product. Therefore, the final step for the armor was to tie all these colors together using a Waywatcher green glaze. What I really love about these glazes is they tint the entire model and bring the colors closer together. However, this particular glaze has a bit of a yellow tinge to it, so I end up brightening the colors at the same time and produce a really nice Salamander color armor. I then painted the vents, his gun, the shoulder pads, and the gaps in his armor Abaddon black. Whenever using Abaddon black, I find that it actually goes on very thick. So if you find that your particular black goes on thick, I definitely recommend diluting a little bit with either water or preferably paint thinner. I know some of you are probably wondering why I painted the shoulder pads originally with the highlights just to paint them over black. It's because at the time I hadn't yet decided exactly what I was going to paint black, and just for purposes of continuity, I always paint the entire miniature over with the highlights before determining exactly what I'm going to go over with the next color. That way, no matter where I go over, the entire model has been highlighted. Also, you'll probably notice that Abaddon Black goes on very shiny. It's a very shiny black as far as they go. And because the black is much shinier than the rest of the armor, which is a matte green, I'm going to tie all the colors the same level of shininess later using a satin varnish. I then started on the silver areas of the gun by painting them Lead Belcher, the new base color for silver metallic areas. It goes on great with a single coat, produces a nice dark silver appearance on the gun. I then started on all the gold areas by painting them the new base color Balthazar Gold. This is a great gold, I find. It goes on excellent with a single coat and provides a great base color for your gold areas. I then gave both the silver areas and the gold areas a black-brown shade, comprising of a 1-to-1 mix of non-oil to Agrax Earth Shade. This will give them all a really dirty, older appearance. I then highlighted the gold areas using Gehenna's Gold, which is nice, warm, rich gold, and looks great on Space Marine miniatures. As with the previous highlight, the goal is to just do the very edges of each section of the wings, and to keep the recesses the shaded original gold color. And similarly, I highlighted the metal areas using Ironbreaker, the medium tone silver color. I base coated the eyes and the arrow on his armor Averland Sunset, which is a great base color to go over the black and provide a nice foundation for all the yellow areas. I then highlighted the centers of the eyes, as well as the arrow, using Flash Gets Yellow, a nice brighter yellow, which will look great now that we've done the base coat of Averland Sunset. And finally, I painted a little tiny white dot in the corner of each eye to produce a little bit of a reflective appearance to each eye. I base coated the purity seals, at least the brown parts of each purity seal, Baneblade Brown. I then highlighted the purity seal using Ushabti Bone, one of the definitely more complicated names of the new Citadel paints. Then to give it an older, dirtier appearance, I gave the purity seal an Agrax Earthshade. And finally, I started the red areas, specifically the parts of the purity seal, using Mephiston Red. Then I highlighted the purity seal red areas with Evil Sunz Scarlet, the matching first highlight for that particular base color. And finally, to make sure that the entire model is the same level of shininess for the armor, I applied a satin varnish, which will produce a semi-gloss finish to the overall model. And that's it. You now know how I painted up my Salamander Space Marine. With the new 6th edition just out, I definitely think that there are going to be a lot of Salamanders on the tabletop, so to all you Salamander people who want to know how you painted it, I hope this tutorial was of some assistance and that you enjoyed it overall. I personally liked the way that this model turned out. I think it looks nice and will look great on the tabletop, kicking butt with the Salamander Space Marines. So as always, thank you to all you awesome people out there for watching my videos. You truly keep me going. Please like the video, leave a comment in the section of any groups you'd like me to paint next, and subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so. So thank you very much once again. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting, everyone.